I was having dinner with my grandmother, who's in the film, one evening, and can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
And at Town Village, and this couple walked by holding hands, and this was before my final semester at USC. This couple walked by holding hands, and my grandmother goes, "Oh, get a room." And I said, "Mama, are people still having sex here?" And she goes, "Oh, sure." I said, "Really?" "Oh yeah, just because you get old doesn't mean you have to lay down and die." And I was like, all right, well, it hadn't occurred to me. I wasn't thinking about the sex lives or really the lives of seniors. And that and another thing, she had a friend that I had known who had dementia, and she wasn't there that night. And she said she wasn't able to be there anymore because her dementia had progressed too far. And so it just made me realize that there's a whole world and life going on at this age, at 80 to 90, that I hadn't been privy to and I wanted to know a lot more about. Did a short film that screened here, had an overall great experience, happy with the result, and then decided to do a feature. And my grandmother had always been telling me for years throughout film school, you know, "Jared, you got to come film here with me and my friends. It'd be just like the Golden Girls." And I was like, yeah.
Always listen to your grandmother.
Well, you know, at first I kind of brushed her off, like, you know, maybe one day. Yeah. And then when it was time to do a professional film feature, I knew that she and her friend with the big glasses were great characters, and that's what you want to have in a documentary. So I wanted to film there, and then got permission, and then met Sam. Didn't know him beforehand, but he showed up to a meeting for all residents who might be interested in participating, and he was just the most excited and gung ho from the get-go. And
so, what was your first conversation with Sam?
You know, I think Sam just introduced himself, and then he said, "I'd love to be part of this," and he invited us, me and my production partner Ashley, up to his apartment to film with him. So he just had a special interest in photography, so he was interested in the camera because he used to sell. I used to work at a photography store, and so I mean that was about it. And then our first interview, I think, actually was the one that opened up the film, where he said, "My name is Sam Berger," and kind of slates for the camera.
So what did you learn from all the time spending there?
I think that the main thing that I learned was that attitude is everything. And people have heard me talk about this, have probably heard me say this before, but I mean, I think that certainly you need your health, granted, but I think that a large part of your health, even physically, comes from your attitude mentally over the longevity of your lifetime. And so the people who we featured the people who I chose to feature in the film really embodied this idea that attitude is everything, and Sam certainly represents that, and as did a few of the other people in the film. And just woke up every day and had a positive zest for life, and wanted to make the most of the day and keep themselves busy. I mean, so you know, and those are the people that were the happiest and were making the most meaning out of their lives at this time, just I think as meaningful as any other time in one's life. So that was the main takeaway for me.
So at some point while you're either shooting or editing this, do you sort of like think, what am I going to be like when I'm that old? Where am I going to be?
I can only hope that I'm as positive and upbeat as Sam is. You know, it did cross my mind, and my friends and I talked about it a little bit. You know, what are we going to do if hopefully we make it to that age? We all talked about, you know, trying to move into the same retirement community, and we imagined playing old video games we used to play when we were kids, you know, just Super Nintendo and stuff like that.
So it's sort of like college dorms, which is later.
That would be ideal. I think we had the conversation, you know, only a couple years after college, so I mean, it was the last one I did again.
Just different drugs.
Right.